few months. To give us the latest on the ground, we have Justine Punsalang. She's reporting to us live from NAIA Terminal 3. Justine, good morning. Could you give us the situation over there?
Balikbayans and the foreign families of Filipinos are allowed entry to the country starting today. Activities here at NAIA Terminal 3 are actually very slow. International arrivals are not expected to start until this afternoon. Based on the schedule at NAIA Terminal 3, the earliest international flight will be at 2 in the afternoon from Abu Dhabi. The other international arrivals will be from Dubai, Doha, Istanbul, and Guam. In the Laging Handa briefing last Thursday, Tourism Undersecretary Benito Bengzon Jr. said they could not yet determine the exact number of Balikbayans and foreign spouses and children of Filipinos who will be arriving this month. He said this will still depend on the flights to be offered by different airlines. Meanwhile, presidential spokesperson Harry Roque emphasized that these inbound passengers would first have to undergo swab testing right at the airport, and they must secure a reservation at a quarantine facility. He also said that the IATF has already ordered immigration to set guidelines to make sure that the requirements will be met by Balikbayans. At the same time, the Department of Tourism was already asked to issue guidelines on the accommodations for the foreign spouses and children. Charles, we have spoken to some security guards here at NAIA Terminal 3, and according to them, those who will be picking up their loved ones are not allowed entry inside the airport lobby. Instead, they must wait at the parking lot. Also, Charles, there is a strict implementation of contact tracing using the mobile app called Trace. Charles?
Thank you, Justine Punsalang, reporting live from NAIA. Palace spokesperson Harry Roque clarified that there will be no nationwide lockdown this Christmas season. Over the weekend, a chain message circulated saying that the government was planning to place the country on lockdown from December 23 to January 2. The text message spread fast, but Roque said this is nothing but fake news. Government officials are now urging Filipinos to refrain from spreading unverified information. Cabinet Secretary Carlo Nograles says there's danger in believing and spreading fake news, especially in the middle of a global crisis. He encouraged the public to be more discerning with information that they get from unofficial sources. National Task Force COVID-19 spokesperson Resty Padilla agrees, saying that the public can avoid falling victim to fake news by asking authorities or trusted organizations to fact-check their information. Malacanang had earlier placed 7 areas under General Community Quarantine or GCQ for the rest of the year. These include Metro Manila, Batangas, Iloilo City, Tacloban, Lanao del Sur, Iligan, Davao City, and Davao del Norte. The rest of the country will remain under modified GCQ for the entire month. We'll be back with more stories after a quick break. Keep it here on One News. You're still watching One News Now. I'm Charles Lejano. Indonesia is now gearing up for mass inoculation after receiving its first shipment of China's Sinovac biotech vaccine. Indonesian President Joko Widodo says they have received 1.2 million doses of vaccine, which they had been testing since August. The vaccine still needs to obtain approval from the country's Food and Drug Agency, but Widodo says they will not stop laying down the groundwork for mass vaccination.
Kita tahu telah disiapkan sejak beberapa bulan yang lalu lewat simulasi-simulasi di beberapa provinsi, dan saya yakin setelah diputuskan vaksinasi dimulai, semua sudah dalam keadaan siap.
Meanwhile, the World Health Organization says the promise of COVID vaccines is, quote, phenomenal and potentially game-changing. WHO Regional Director for Europe, Hans Kluge, says the future definitely looks brighter, with more than 200 candidates for vaccines under development. But he also warned that supply will be very limited in the early stages of vaccine distribution, so countries must decide who gets priority. Kluge also cautioned against overcomplacency, just because the pandemic seems to be nearing its end.
So the promise of vaccine is great, but its full potential will not be realized without strong preparedness and community acceptance. But let us also be clear, the vaccine is not here today. Not everyone will receive it when it arrives. Therefore, it is imperative that we continue to practice basic protective behaviors, such as mask wearing.
Back here on the home front, the Science and Technology Department says trials of possible alternative treatments for COVID-19 are likewise showing promising results. Speaking to One News' The Chiefs, DOST Secretary Fortunato de la Peña revealed that clinical trials for virgin coconut oil, Lagundi, and tawa-tawa as possible treatments for COVID cases are still ongoing. He said 5 out of 29 patients who received VCO treatment showed improvement in as fast as 2 days. Only 1 out of the 28 patients in the placebo group showed substantial improvements during the same period. De la Peña adds that Lagundi trials have already advanced to the next stage and expressed hope that this will also yield positive results.
Yung Lagundi.
Lagundi, maganda rin ang progress. So, nandun na sila ngayon, decided na sila sa dosage, punta na sila sa phase 2, where we have an additional 200 volunteers needed. Yung 80 sa phase 1 tapos na. So we are now in phase 2 doing the 200, and this is what we call the efficacy study stage. No? Efficacy na ang pinag-uusapan dito. Umaasa tayo na magiging maganda ang resulta.
Yantok or rattan sticks will only be used for self-defense while police officers are enforcing health protocols in public spaces. Joint Task Force COVID Shield Commander Cesar Binag said social distancing patrollers will now carry rattan sticks to, quote, strike hard-headed individuals. This announcement was met with criticism from netizens and the Commission on Human Rights, who cautioned the government against unnecessary use of force. Binag thanked the CHR for this reminder but clarified that Yantok sticks have always been used in police training and are issued as official police equipment for unarmed arrests. He added that law enforcement officers will only use the rattan sticks to defend themselves against possible attacks from unruly violators of health protocols. Fast break now to sports. Barangay Ginebra is now 1 win away from the Philippine Cup crown. Veteran LA Tenorio once again stepped up in Game 4 last night, knocking down 2 from beyond the arc to douse cold water on TNT's comeback. The Ironman's outside shots served as counterpunches to RR Pugoy's 3 straight trays that made it a 1-possession ball game with only about 2 minutes left. Tenorio's back-to-back shots from beyond the arc led the Barangay to a commanding 3-1 lead in the best-of-7 series. Ginebra will try to wrap things up on Wednesday in Game 5, while TNT will be playing to survive and to play another day. For more updates, visit News 5, the Philippine Star and Business World online. Visit our website, onenews.ph, for more in-depth analysis. And you can also catch One News on the Signal Play app. Register for a free account at www.signalplay.com and stream One News live anytime, anywhere. I'm Charles Lejano. We're One News.